Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing the first Q&A for this week, leading up to Season 7, Episode 11 for the Walking Dead television series, and that's called Hostiles and Calamities. First one for this one is going to be, who do we think is going to get the iron this week? Alright, and I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check out the promo for this one, as well as the sneak peek for episode 11. If you missed, I did a predictions video for what I think is going to happen in this episode, as well as my review for episode 10, which I love the episode, so check out the review if you haven't seen it yet, definitely, and check out the predictions for this episode to hear what I think is going to happen. So I wanted to focus this one a little bit more. The bitches back said, Trev, I thought they only got the iron if one of his wives cheated on him with their husband. And then JT Skater 123 says, hey Trev Q&A, who do you think is going to get the iron next week? So for this one, I mean, I'm totally out of spoilers for this season, so I have no idea in terms of who it actually is going to be. All I can do is give you guys my thoughts and predictions on who I think it might be. So for this one, with the episode, it kind of makes it look a little bit like it could be Eugene from the promo to get the iron, but that never happened in the Walking Dead comic book series, so I'm like looking at it thinking it's probably not going to be Eugene. I doubt it. Plus, we've seen a character get the iron before. We've seen Dwight, of course, with his face. So we've seen the iron. It's been kind of a thing that's been there in The Walking Dead. For this week, I'm almost surprised they're doing it again. As far as I can remember in the comic book series, I mean, he does use it, but I don't think he used it that many times from what I can remember. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'd have to look through the chapters and see in particular, because as far as my memory serves me, and I don't think it's necessary to see him keep ironing people over and over again. I think we got the point at this time. Daryl escapes. Daryl gets away. Is he going to want to punish, Dwight? It doesn't seem like it, because Dwight's the one heating the iron and doing that kind of stuff. Could it be somebody else there? Did he kind of figure out maybe who it was who helped to free Daryl? Oh, man, I just don't know. With this one, I feel like there's really no way for us to predict. There's no way for us to know. It could be any of the characters inside of the sanctuary, and it could be about something else as well, too, because we do see another scene where we have David, who's the pervy one, who likes to hit on Enid, even though she's clearly underage, so it may be under pedo suspicion, and he's clobbering somebody in the ground. He's hitting somebody, and Negan's in the doorway, and we can't see who it is. So obviously there's some other stuff going on there. I think it's going to be one of the saviors, of course, who gets the iron. I don't think it's going to be Eugene. I don't think it's going to be Dwight. So I think it's just going to kind of be some random, character there from the sanctuary. So that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, though. That'd be pretty nuts if they went with Eugene as getting the iron. That would be quite insane for sure. But write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think and who you think is going to be that's going to get the iron this week. I just think it's going to be like a random savior. And also, I don't think there's a rule for sure 100% that it's only as pertaining to his wives. I think it's a common punishment if you are to touch any of his wives that he'll burn your face with the iron. But I think he could, I'm assuming he probably would use it for other stuff too if people really screw up and he wants to punish them. Like the guy who tried to run away, that kind of stuff, that it may not always be just due to wife swapping. Right? RiotnRespect says, Trev, do you think Skinny Joey will ever get his moment to shine in the spotlight now that Fat Joey is no longer with us? It's just Joey. That would be funny, actually, if Negan called somebody out of Skinny Joey. I hope they actually use that. I hope they do that, because I think that'd be really clever. And I haven't watched the first few episodes of The Sanctuary from Season 7 again recently, but was there another character just named Joey there? I'm not sure about that one. I hope that we get to see who this infamous Joey character is, especially after we heard about him on the radio. It's kind of funny. Joshua Stucatur says, Trev, the scavengers looked old, frail, and weak. What do you think about them? So are we calling the junkyard people the scavengers now? That's what people are saying. So, I mean, they're nothing like the scavengers in the Walking Dead comic book series. In the Walking Dead comic book series, the scavengers are the wolves, and you can see in terms of time that they attack and everything that happens is really close. I'm going to continue to call them the junkyard group because I want to, and I'm used to it now. So yeah, they did. Some of them did, but their numbers were impressive. Their numbers were very impressive. I mean, if you have 70 people, even if they're malnourished a bit and they don't have too much and they don't communicate too well, they had the numbers, so they were pretty impressive. So even though I hear what you're saying, that they didn't look like they were, super well kept compared to the Saviors and some of the other groups, we have a lot of different groups in The Walking Dead right now. We have a lot of different communities, and I think it's good that they all have their own culture, their own look, and their own kind of gimmick, right? Ezekiel's got the tiger, he's got the kingdom, they act like they're in, time of kings and this kind of thing. The Hilltops, like, farming community, and they've got Gregory, who's kind of conniving and all that. You've got Alexandria, of course, and the Saviors. I think we needed a group, and the girls in Oceanside. I think we needed a group that were different from all of them, and I think that it was a good choice to make them very different. That way they stand out. They're not similar to any of those other groups we just mentioned. So they're very different, and for that diversity, I like that. I like to see different things so that they're mixing it up, they're keeping it original, and I really, really like the super zombie fight sequence with Rick, the testing him, so to speak. It's just very cool, man. And some people compare it to Z Nation and that kind of stuff, and we've seen like the zombies get cut by the wire and all this stuff, and people are disappointed that it's getting a little bit too unrealistic. It's getting a little bit too crazy with Walking Dead. But listen, the show's into its 7th season now, so basically 7 years. I mean, I've been reviewing it since I was 24. At this point. I started reviewing it in season 1 when I was 24, and, I'm 30 now. So, and a lot of you guys too, if you've been watching it since the beginning, they got to mix it up. They got to have things that are different. They got to have things that don't feel similar. And I can say for sure that the Junkyard group feels totally different from anything we've seen before. Even if they're a little bit cartoony or a little bit unrealistic, you know what? I want this show to continue, and I want The Walking Dead to go on strong. So is a tiger. You could say that maybe, okay, if he was a zookeeper, maybe he does keep a tiger, but, it's a story about a zombie apocalypse. I like for them to keep it realistic as much as they can, and that's great. But sometimes I don't mind if they want to, liven it up a little bit with a little bit more poppy, crazy stuff, comic booky stuff. Why not? Joshua Clough says, I know you feel differently, but to me, Rick fighting the Walker may be the dumbest thing in the whole series. He's lived how many years in this world and has an endless supply of junk near him, and decides the best option is to use a keyboard and his hand, injuring himself for no reason, as well as kicking and cutting his leg. So Josh thinks he should have wiped out the zombie by himself with no trouble. It's I don't know, man. That's kind of tricky, right? I thought he might try to double, because he didn't want to touch anything around him. I thought he might grab it by the neck and force it back and stick it into the thing, and then use as much strength as he can and try to pop its head, right, or something like that, or rip its spine or something. I don't know. That would have been cool, right? If he grabbed it and fatality and ripped its spine out or something. Now we're getting really unrealistic. But in reality, he's caught off guard. He's malnourished. He hasn't been eating that much, so he's probably not as strong as he usually is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't have a grasp of, it's not home turf advantage, he doesn't know where he is. And there's crap everywhere, and there's probably jagged objects and stuff like this all around the place. So he just grabs the quickest thing he can without thinking and starts to fight the thing. So, when you see something that scary, your fight or flight response kicks in, and at least he didn't shut down or something. So I thought he did pretty good. Yeah, he messed himself up a little bit. But, it's kind of one of those things, right? It's going to happen when you're in the moment and you're not prepared and you're caught off guard and you don't know where you are and you don't know what you have around you. So I liked it. I thought it was, I thought it was a really intense, really exciting sequence. But maybe you're right. Maybe if somehow, ripping its head off or something would have been cool. But granted, your spine, everything is pretty well attached, and the thing had blades, especially the one blade. I remember seeing it looks like a butcher knife or something like that, and it's oh my god, just brutal, man. Jack Reynolds says, Trev Q&A, how about that fake backdrop? I thought Shiva looked great this episode, but the green screen junkyard was very obvious. Thoughts? Love your video since season 3. So thanks for your support, Jack, and I recognize your name. See, a lot of you guys, you might think I don't know who you are. I know. I see your names and stuff, and that's really cool that you've been here since season 3, man. So thanks for your support over the years. And everybody else, too. All the rest of you guys, too, that have supported the channel since season 2, 1, whatever the case may be, 3. Very cool. So, yeah, you're kind of right. It didn't look it was CG. But, you know, the thing is, from a realistic standpoint, they have to pump out these episodes. They're using a lot of CG this season, quite a bit here and there. You know, Shiva and some of the other things they have too, the zombies in the highway. They're using a bit more than I think they usually do. Usually it's more practical, but things are getting bigger, the scale's getting bigger, and they're mixing a little bit more. Personally, I prefer practical every time over CG for the most part. I pretty much always prefer practical. But, you know, there's some things that obviously are going to be really hard to do with practical, like huge zombie herds and things like that. It's going to be difficult to do the season 6 huge zombie herd quarry thing practical. I mean, how are you going to get, you know, thousands of, like 30,000 people to show up and all get dressed as zombies? You know, it's not going to happen. Scott Weinberg says, Trev, what if Daryl said, say her name, and Richard said Heisenberg? Nice. And I saw the Los Pollos Hermanos, they played that clip, and I'm really excited for, you know, Better Call Saul, which should be coming back pretty soon, right? I got to check. I think it's the spring, but I'll have to see what the actual release date is for that. And Fear the Walking Dead getting pushed to this summer, which is June, I think they're starting it. So, you know, I'd have had hoped they would start sooner, but, you know, I'll take it. Why not? I'm still excited for Fear. It should be good, too. Q on the Walker says, Trev, got a quick question. Why in the monkey nuts does Rick keep getting his hands cut? Like, I feel like they're toying with us or they're messing with us because in the comic series, of course, he gets his hand cut off by the governor, like back in what would have been season 3. And you're right, man. All the time, I keep seeing little, like, things where they're messing with us with his hands. When he was taking the explosives off and stuff, I was like, oh, man, he's going to blow his hand off. And now with this thing, too, when he, like, cuts his hand, and his leg, it really made me think of like, you know, his body is just getting beaten down over the years. It's getting thrashed out. That in a few seasons, he's not going to be able to fight too much anymore. He's going to be in a state where, you know, he's been hurt a lot. His body doesn't work too well. And did I see Carol kind of limp there when she was walking? You know, that's kind of crazy. A lot of the characters, you know, at this point, after all the fighting over the years, they can't even walk straight. They can't even walk that well. Like they're kind of like limping and stuff, and they've got little things. Rosita's got the scar, and they've all got scars from over the seasons. And I think they've done a great job of keeping it faithful to the injuries that they've sustained. And Rick keeps on having them, but he keeps fighting, so it's just you know, part of it. We'll do 2 more. Ashley of Nath says, "Is there ever anything Negan could do that would cause you to dislike the character? For me, it would be if he cut Eugene's hair. Ever since he got taken, I've been worried that could happen if he was Negan a problem." So you're worried he's going to cut the mullet. The mullet is pretty sweet, I got to be honest with you. So is there anything Negan could do that would turn me against him 100%? No. I mean, yeah, there could be, but, you know, I mean, I've read the comic book series, so that messes the whole conversation up because comic Negan is one of my absolute favorite characters in the comic. So it'd be pretty tough, and JDM is pretty charismatic with his Negan for the TV series, so I think it'd have to be something really, really, really bad. Last one will be from Dogo for today, and he says, there's been 4 great episodes in a row, 7, 8, 9, and now 10 as well, too. And you're right, Dogo, for a season that had a bit of a lull there in, you know, the first half or a few episodes after the crazy premiere, I feel like the season has really picked back up again, and you're right, that's 4 straight episodes now that have been awesome episodes, and me personally, I'm getting, you know, that enthusiasm back, I'm getting the passion back for Walking Dead, and that's awesome, man, because trying to make videos every day, if I'm not feeling the show, it's just about impossible. So, you know, this is great because now we can, you know, make the videos all the way through and have fun, talk about it, there'll be lots to talk about, and everybody will be kind of, you know, back with it and enjoying it again and having fun. And, you know, that's what you want from a hobby. You have a hobby, you want to enjoy it. You don't want to have a hobby that, you know, isn't any fun. That's kind of useless. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you like this one, please thumb it up below. Send me more questions for this week for Q&As. We'll do lots this week. And if you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon. It's Trav saying peace. Later, guys. See ya. You can share, you can favorite, you can subscribe. Hell, you're all going to be doing that.